All right. Format or codec. Now, let's read this first. Usually, when video data is recorded, some of it is lost. Video compression software works by looking for redundancies in a frame, such as one bit of blue sky next to another bit of blue sky, and representing the redundancies together. This is done through what's called a video codec. Now, I'm actually going to be including another video that goes through very well describing what video compression is about, and from the Filmmaker IQ guys, because he tells it that part of it a little bit better. Reason why we bring this up though is because you'll be running into lots of codecs. Now, in the last lecture, I talked about how there are different formats for broadcast around the world that need to be at 25 frames per second or need to be at 30 frames per second, what have you. Those are generally going to be a very set codec. However, most video nowadays is distributed online on the internet. Occasionally on Blu-ray and DVD, but really mostly it's streaming online anymore. And there are lots of codecs out there. It's almost like the Wild West because everybody is trying to find the best codec. At the moment, the number one codec is a format called H.264. But I have a feeling that one is its days are numbered. A video codec is a device or software that enables compression or decompression of digital video. The format of the compressed data adheres to a video compression specifications. So this is very similar to what we were talking about. We were talking about codecs with audio, in that a codec will break that image down and create mathematical algorithms for recreating it so that the data can be smaller. You need less information to be able to be reconstruct the full image so that your audience can see it as you mean for it to look. While there isn't one best format, there are best video formats for particular jobs. Things to be aware of when choosing a video format apart from the intended audiences are: will they be watching this video streaming over the internet? Do they have a fast connection? Do they have a DVD player? Do they have a Blu-ray player? What is the longevity of the format and how widespread is its adoption? So, looking at, will they be watching it over the internet, and then do they have a fast connection? These two are very connected to one another, because if they do not have a fast internet connection, you do not want to have a busy codec. You don't want to have a very large file size. So you're going to want to keep it small. But if they do have a fast internet connection, then maybe you want to have it larger. Do they have a DVD player? Now, this is come into play, and to be honest, more times than not, this will be a discussion you have to have with your client, because you have some clients that are still not as used to using the internet for distribution yet, and so they think the world revolves around DVDs. And so you need to remind them tactfully and ask them, are you sure your client still has a DVD player in their office? Would streaming be better? If they say yes, then go for it. Same thing with Blu-ray. If you have a client that says, oh, it has to be on Blu-ray, it's HD, it looks better, you want to make sure, because Blu-ray players aren't as prevalent, especially in office settings, you want to make sure that the client actually does have a Blu-ray player. And then you also need to ask yourself, what is longevity of this format? If you do make a compressed video file, you don't want to use a video codec that will be going away anytime soon. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, there was a codec called Real Player. And they may still be around, but they're not used that often. And so you need to ask yourself, if a client, I'm probably not going to want to compress it into the real video codec format, because I doubt they would have what's called the driver on their computer. Basically, they would have a program that could decode that codec to let it play it back. So you want to pick a format that works best for your client and for that situation.